idea behind subversion is to challenge a preconceived idea or system, taking what we normally expect and essentially turning it on its head. Horror films in particular have many tropes and conventions that people expect them to follow. So it's rare when a film comes along that completely takes us by surprise by playing our intuition and going against the grain. Before we begin, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Every new sub helps us achieve our goal and keeps us motivated to create new content. With that being said, I'm your host, Jamie, and here are 10 must-see subversive horror films. Number 1, The Woman. 2011's horror film, The Woman, was absolutely not what I expected. In a good way, so kudos to the filmmakers for that. It begins with a feral woman in the woods killing a wolf off screen. The next scene throws the viewer into the life of a suburban family headed by a toxic father who's also a divorce lawyer. He goes hunting one day and spots the feral tribal woman from the opening. Later, he comes back to capture her and tie her up in a cellar. I should preface this that I went into this film completely blind. The Woman is actually a sequel to a film from 2009 called The Offering about a cannibalistic tribe that has been living in the forests of this suburb for decades. Given this context, The Woman is less of a mystery, but also by no means follows the beats of its predecessor. The Woman is an engaging examination of the systematic failures in misogyny and the patriarchy. Beyond its thematic relevance, it's a tense drama that keeps the audience at the edge of its seat with its twists and carnage. So go feral for it over on Peacock, Sling, Prime, Fandango, YouTube, or Google Play. Number 2, Needful Things. 1993's adaptation of Stephen King's novel, Needful Things, takes place in the town of Castle Rock, a frequent setting in King's universe. Newcomer to town Leland Gaunt, played by screen legend Max von Sydow, opens up a shop in town with various trinkets and antiques, naming it Needful Things. If customers are interested in anything in the store, it costs a modest amount of cash. But more importantly, and oddly, it costs the buyer a favor for Gaunt, usually in the form of a prank played on someone else. Though many of these pranks seem harmless at first, they become increasingly damaging and even deadly as the plot progresses. These pranks also create a ripple effect with the townsfolk. They sow distrust, and any harbored resentments reveal themselves. That and the people are actually driven mad as they can't seem to escape visions in Leland himself. Gaunt ultimately reveals he is the devil, and that explains the chaos as he wants everyone's soul. I personally do not know how the novel played out, but critics and audiences enjoyed the twist, although I admittedly saw it coming from a mile away. If you're interested, you can check it out on Prime, Fandango, YouTube, or Google Play. Number 3, Delicatessen. The word delicatessen invokes something highbrow, like a kind of classy exotic bazaar setting selling culinary delights. Which is why it is the perfect ironic name for the dark French dystopian comedy, Delicatessen. The film doesn't feel like a typical dystopian film in aesthetic or scope. Its warm color temperatures and soft lighting make even the grimy set pieces or the more gruesome scenes almost romantic. While Delicatessen takes place in a future dystopian France, its purview is personal and is ultimately a love story between two tenants of a building. The horrifying aspect of the film is that the landlord chops up tenants and makes food out of them, as hunger is a problem pervading society. In a sick capitalistic nightmare, those who can't pay rent are more valuable as food. At the end, the landlord accidentally kills himself in an attempt to kill the couple tenants who figured him out. The moral is that the greedy and gluttonous always are the cause of their own demise. A lesson that is prevalent for our current socio-political climate. But I digress. Check out this disturbingly delicious film over on Prime, Fandango, YouTube, or Google Play. Number 4, Mindflesh. 2008's Mindflesh is based on the novel White Lights by William Skyman. After watching the film, I'm extremely curious how said novel plays out. First off, I'm not going to pretend Mindflesh is some kind of cinematic masterpiece. It's more of a train wreck. But one thing I couldn't turn away from. Because there is a lot of intrigue and because I had no idea how the narrative was going to play out. Unfortunately, it is a cheaply made independent film. Its first half is incredibly incohesive. The protagonist, Chris, played by Peter Bromell, seems to be having psychosexual erotic visions of a bloody ghost and whatnot. About halfway through the film, it's explained that Chris has an inherent power. The ghost he has been having sex with is a goddess of sorts, and their coitus has upset the beings beyond our plane. Yes, you heard that right. If you look at IMDb's synopsis, they actually describe them as extraterrestrial beings who police reality. And Chris, as well as his confidants, have the ability in their DNA to manifest obsession into reality. Make sure to watch this mindfuck over on Tubi, Sling, Prime, Google Play, or YouTube. Number 5, The Tall Man. The Tall Man is a horror thriller inspired by the creepypasta The Slender Man, which is a tall, lanky humanoid in a suit with no face. The concept is that he stalked children and eventually kidnapped them. The Tall Man involves a small town where children regularly go missing. When Julia's, who's a nurse, played by Jessica Biel, child is kidnapped one night, she goes on a ruthless pursuit to find him. The film has some atmosphere and intrigue despite being not doing much beyond its twist, but it is better than expected. The midpoint plot twist sets it apart from others like it, and is ultimately why it landed on this list. At this point, spoilers should be expected, but it is revealed to the audience that Julia herself has been taking the children and delivering them to the Tall Man. Also, the town sheriff is played by William B. Davis, aka the X-Files Smoking Man, which I thought was a nice choice as he invokes a moral ambiguity that can manipulate the viewer's preconceived notions. Enjoy it over on Prime, CW, Billo, Redbox, Fandango, YouTube, or Google Play.
Hey guys, Amber Assault here. Just wanted to say thanks for checking out our channel. We hope you've been enjoying our content so far. If you'd like to support us even further, head over to fatninja.shop. We offer all sorts of merch from t-shirts, hoodies, hats, blankets, mugs, shoes, and more. We have a wide variety of styles and colors to choose from, and a size chart to help you find the right fit for your body. Each item that you purchase helps us keep the lights on, as well as funding our next film projects, so we greatly appreciate it. Clothing is made from high-quality material, and our partners over at Printful make sure to quality approve any items before shipping them out. Show us your support by wearing our logo and making a statement with these amazing designs. And make sure to tell all your friends about us. Again, thank you for checking us out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. We also have an exclusive membership option, where if you join for only $1.99 a month, you'll get a 20% off coupon for being a member for more than 6 months, as well as future prize drawings when we reach at least 50 members. Love you all. Catch you guys later.
Number 6, The Green Room. The Green Room is a topical wild ride that involves a band that is set to play a gig in a podunk town venue full of racist rednecks. Things go awry when they stumble across a murder and have to barricade themselves in a room and protect themselves from violent skinheads. The owner of the venue, played by none other than Captain Picard himself, Patrick Stewart. The audience's inkling is to trust him, not just because of his luminous screen presence, but because we instinctively see the noble Picard or Professor X. Stewart, or I should say his character, Darcy Banker, calmly and diplomatically attempts to get the band to leave the room. He claims no harm will come to them. Director Jeremy Saulnier is really good at creating this pervasive sense of foreboding, while at the same time, you're not quite sure what will happen next. The Green Room ultimately reflects the racially motivated violence that continues to persist in our country, while also simultaneously getting ignored. In the end, there is a lot of loss and grief, but it is undoubtedly a poignant film that I recommend watching over on Prime, Fandango, YouTube, or Google Play. Number 7, Housebound. Gerard Johnson, who's now most known for 2022's social satire horror Megan, made his directorial debut with 2014's Housebound. Well, it's labeled as a comedy horror, but more in the way Megan or Scream is also a comedy. Housebound opens with Kylie Bucknell attempting to rob a safe, but is caught and placed on house arrest. She has to live with her mother in the house she grew up in, and the two of them have grown apart. The first twist is that a girl was murdered in the house and Kylie's mother knew about it. Her mother believes it's said girl that haunts the house. Kylie, with the help of her friend Amos, played by Glenn Paul, determined the ghost is actually trying to communicate using clues. Housebound seemingly shifts into a kind of a murder mystery where Kylie, as well as Amos, follow a proverbial trail of breadcrumbs. Johnson does a superb job of balancing the drama, horror, and humor, keeping things moving along, each element used to subvert expectations. But wait, the big twist, spoiler alert, the house isn't haunted at all. The neighbor, whom they initially thought was the killer, had a servant boy who had been living in secret passages in their walls. Yeah, a girl was murdered, but it was by Kylie's clinical psychologist. So bound home and stream it on Philo, Tubi, Zumo, Plex, Sling, Prime, Fandango, YouTube, or Google Play. Number 8, Tragedy Girls. 2017's Tragedy Girls falls under the category of, if you like Scream, you'll like this. The film's opening sequence is an intentional slasher cliche. A high school boy and girl are on a date in a parked car in the middle of nowhere. Unsurprisingly, they hear a strange noise. The girl convinces the boy to investigate, and he does so begrudgingly. Of course, he meets his demise by a brooding killer who takes his blade to his face. This is actually all part of a trap that the girl, Sadie Cunningham, played by Brianna Hildebrand of Deadpool fame, has set up with her friend. Her cohort, Michaela Hopper, is played by Alexandra Shipp, most notable for Barbie, but also played a young Storm in X-Men Apocalypse. Side note, she was good casting in a not-so-good film. Anyway, Sadie and Michaela are journalists for their student newspaper. They have been investigating killings in their town for a while. They captured the killer in the openings and stowed him away and tied him up. Without a killer, Sadie and Michaela discovered they also have no story anymore. And with no story, especially one of this caliber, they can't boost their social media clout, which is their prime goal. Sadie and Michaela decide to continue on with the killings themselves, so the police department can't continue to elude the public anymore about the real killer. Tragedy Girls is tongue-in-cheek, even when it comes to some exceptionally ruthless and bloody cool deaths. The film has plenty of references to other horror films too. Even the girls' last names are referenced to Sean Cunningham and Ted Hopper, who are the directors of Friday the 13th and the Texas Chainsaw Massacre, respectively. Michaela's mother is played by Elise Neal, who also played Sidney Prescott's roommate in Scream 2. Fun fact, Jack Quaid, who played Sadie's love interest in Tragedy Girls, would go on to play protagonist Samantha Carpenter's boyfriend in 2022's Scream. It would be a tragedy if you missed this on Peacock, Prime, Tubi, Plex, Pluto, Philo, Disney+, AMC+, YouTube, Google Play, Redbox, Fandango, or Sling. Number 9. Dead and Buried. 1981's Dead and Buried is the oldest film on this list, and even the opening subverts expectations. The film's opening sequence takes place on a beach where a photographer is taking photos of an attractive woman. This alludes to the type of voyeurism we're used to form a killer or an antagonist. However, instead of the photographer killing said woman, a group of people jump the photographer, beat him within an inch of his life, and set him ablaze. The story of Dead and Buried follows a string of murders that the town sheriff has to solve. Unexpectedly, some townsfolk seem to have already been dead even before their murder. Near the end of the film is revealed that the snarky coroner has been involved in bringing the dead back to life. Dead and Buried's impressive practical effects were done by the late Stan Winston, who is responsible for groundbreaking animatronics in Jurassic Park and the practical effects in films like Alien. Speaking of Alien, Dead and Buried was also written by screenwriting duo Russell Shusett and Dan O'Bannon, who scribed the classic 1979 classic sci-fi horror film. Also, keep your eyes peeled for Robert Englund, as Dead and Buried came out 3 years before he would land his seminal role as horror icon Freddy Krueger that would cement his status in cinema history. Bring yourself to life and watch Dead and Buried over on Peacock, Prime, Tubi, Pluto, Fandango, Google Play, YouTube, or Philo. Number 10. Sonny Boy. 1989's Sonny Boy is Robert Martin Carroll's debut film, and one of the only 2 films he's ever directed. The second being 2000's Baby Love that his wife Darlene Young wrote. Tubi's overview of Sonny Boy reads, small-time crook Slew, played by Paul L. Smith, sends his lackey Weasel, played by Brad Dourif, to steal a car, and they're surprised to find a baby in the back seat. Slew and his transvestite lover, Curl, David Carradine, decide to keep the child, naming him Sonny Boy. Concise, am I right? Let's unpack a few things. Brad Dourif, who voiced Chucky for the first time only a year prior, still has his Charles Lee Ray aesthetic. Maybe he hoped to film this straight from the set of Child's Play. Also, this character does have the Chucky laugh. David Carradine, who I know best as Bill in Kill Bill, plays a cross-dresser and does a damn good job of it. The narrator of Sonny Boy is Sonny Boy himself. Slew aims to kill him, and Sonny Boy narrates those attempts with wonder and naivete, as opposed to fear. He clearly has some sort of unaddressed mental illness. One fascinating aspect of this film is its use of Western iconography. There are plenty of sweeping romanticized shots of landscape. There's even an Old West type shootout, and the film's score contains an array of acoustic guitar twang. Swag your way over to Tubi, MGM+, Sling, Philo, YouTube, Prime to catch this cult classic out. Thanks for checking out the video. Did we leave any films off the list? Let us know in the comments. If you enjoyed the video, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to tap that bell icon to stay up to date with our latest releases. You can reach out to us on Twitter or X at StudiosFat, or chat with us on Discord, link below. We're also now on Blue Sky. You can find us at studiosfat.bsky.social, which will also link below. If you're really enjoying our content and want to help support us, click that join button for exclusive content, rewards, and perks. Make sure to check out our very own merch store located at fatninja.shop. All proceeds go towards our next film project, so we greatly appreciate it. I've been your host, Jamie. Thanks again, and see you in the next one.
Carry on, I love you. Don't leave me here like this, you can't, I will.